like enough to cover an hour. We'll see what happens.
If not, we can talk about like Animal Crossing. It's fine. I've been playing Pocket Camp, which is
My 3DS is dead.
yeah.
Are we on?
It finally uploaded the thumbnail.
Oh my god! Thank
my
God.
God.
It's been weeks.
And it kept the title that I typed in, so I don't have to retype Alcatraz and Al Capone and try to spell them both. Hell yeah. Welcome to Monster Bash, the show for monsters by monsters. It's our last episode of this semester. It's kind of sad.
It is a little sad, but we'll be back in September.
Yeah.
Maybe August.
Yeah, it depends.
I come back August 18th, so probably August.
Yeah. And I don't know when, like, DJ sign-ups are gonna be. So.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, because we have to re-sign up for a show. But, like, yeah, we'll be back. And we'll have to figure out our schedules to see, like, when we have time to do this.
Yeah, like what day we can do it. Well, today we're talking about the two owls. Owl squared. We're talking about Al Capone. Haha, we started off with a mobster, and
so
we're gonna end off with a mobster. As well as the famous escape from Alcatraz, because let me tell you, that is entertaining.
Yeah, that story is so crazy. Like, I know a lot of it. It's just like, what the fuck?
But I don't know how, well, I do know how they got away with it, kind of, if they did.
Yeah.
But, you know, most importantly about Al Capone that we will be talking about is the St. Valentine's Day massacre, which is like his big massacre thing, as well as why he's called Scarface. Ooh. Exciting.
Yeah.
We just had cake, so if I have a sugar
high.
high.
Yeah, for sure. We had cake and I had chocolate milk, and, you know, it's just what college students do.
Good old Monster Mash time.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into it. I feel like I do that every week.
Yeah.
Or maybe I don't, and I just, like, dream that I do that every week. But we'll see. So, Al Capone was an American gangster in, like, the early 1900s. He was born in, like, I think 1860? Just in general, like, late 1800s.
Yeah. Oh, we're super quiet today? Oh, shit.
Oh, we're really oh, no. Oh, no.
We have the mic turned all the way up on the thing. Do we need to bring the mic closer?
Is this good enough? Was that really loud?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You know, we've been doing this for like a whole semester, and I still don't know how the fuck any of this stuff works. Like,
we are confused. Oh, no. Should we go get someone?
Oh, it's the last episode. Somehow we managed to not fuck up streaming, but somehow we managed to fuck up the mic. Wait, what? What the fuck? No, that can't be that. Fuck.
Wait, are we normal? Turn that back on. Are we normal?
Oh, okay. Cool. Wait, what?
Okay, so you guys can hear it now.
What the fuck?
Wait, can you hear us now, though?
Please.
Please. The first 10 minutes of every Monster Mash is just us being like, can you hear us?
Yeah, it's just us fucking up streaming, like, over and over and over again. Like, I don't...
I mean, like, even our, like, green bar things aren't going as far.
Yeah, this is fucking weird. Wait, what the fuck? Hold on. Wait, is it this thing? Wait.
Is this better?
I don't understand what's happening.
Oh, no.
I mean, I don't...
I'm just gonna say Al Capone did this to us.
Yeah, or Mothman, maybe.
No, Mothman would never.
True, Mothman
Don't say that.
never.
He's in the room with us.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mothman. I didn't mean it.
Oh my god. Okay, this is not good.
Yeah, well, we don't know how to
Well,
fix
that's
this.
the end of Monster Mash. Okay.
Yeah.
How about I go get some?
have to
We'll
go
be right
get
back.
Yeah, we'll be right back. We have some technical difficulties. We're so bad at this. Jesus Christ.
We're really quiet and we don't know how to turn the mic up.
Swear to God, every time.
Literally every week it's a new issue with this.
Every week we don't know how to do something.
It's not a problem. Let's see what I can do for you. Alright, what exactly are you trying to do?
Apparently, like, it's just really quiet. According to people.
Hello?
Yeah.
This is what you meant? This thing? Because he's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't.
Between this, are you guys using this at all?
No.
No? Alright, cool. So you're fine then. If you're not, the only reason why the music wouldn't be as good is probably because this isn't in use. But other than that,
Okay,
you're pretty good.
like.
You guys are fine. No need to worry. Best of luck.
Okay, cool. God, hopefully we'll learn how to do this more next year.
Did that work? Wait, did that work?
You can hear him well, but not us, yeah.
Maybe because he spoke right here.
Yeah, he spoke like right into the mic, so.
Okay, we need to do this. Does this work? You can hear my breathing.
Yeah, right, I feel so weird, like. Wow, 6 minutes in and we've fucked up the mic somehow and just, well, apparently we didn't fuck it up, we're just bad at this.
I can't breathe when I'm up here, but okay, a lot better if we speak up here.
Okay, well, I guess we just need to, like, get real close.
Okay, well, I feel like I'm doing ASMR right now.
Yeah, it's way more, like, it's a bit weird.
Because for us, it's like a speaker when we, like, lean
Yeah.
forward almost, Okay. Okay. Let's get into it.
It's so weird for us
so
because,
weird.
like, it echoes.
It, like, genuinely echoes. So I'm just gonna be, like, right here, because this is a lot more manageable for me, because you can't hear every single breath that I take. So,
Anyway.
to repeat what I was saying before, Al Capone, he was born in, like, the late 1800s, and his whole thing was, like, the 1920s, like, that whole era, and he kind of led a crime syndicate, which is, like, pretty much a mob, like, let's be honest. Actually, I'm not sure if it's different from a mob or not. I probably shouldn't say that, because it could be, like, we kill less people, but, like, at the same time, after reading, judging by how there's a massacre in here, I don't know if that's the same thing, so.
I think they're kind of just similar.
I think they're similar, whatever.
Yeah.
So Al Capone actually grew up a pretty normal kid, until I believe he was like 14-ish, and he got punched by his teacher for giving like bad attitude, and so he punched his teacher back and then got expelled from school and never went back.
Wow. I mean, I don't know, that's fair. If my teacher punches me, I'll punch him back.
It was a woman. So
I'll
that
punch her back.
yeah, see, I would too, but totally can see it back in the day where they're like, yeah, teachers can hit children.
Yeah, for sure.
Today, not so much.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
It's a little fucked.
It's a little fucked. Eventually, Al Capone's criminal acts, starting at prostitution and drug trafficking, got worse and led to the tragic St. Valentine's Day massacre. But, well, tragic. It's honestly like the people involved were kind of bad people, so who cares?
Yeah.
Actually, I shouldn't say that, but like...
You know what we mean.
But it's pretty much like if Al Capone killed Al Capone. Like, that's how I kind of feel, frankly, so, Yeah, so in 1917, Al Capone was working in the Harvard Inn on Coney Island for a mob boss in New York City named Frankie Yale. There's going to be a lot of Franks in this episode, so I'm apologizing right now.
Lots of Franks and
a lot of Franks in both of these stories.
Lots of Italian names.
Yeah, a lot of Italian names.
No offense to Italian people, but...
Yeah, no offense at all, like...
But I mean, like, you know the mafia.
Yeah. On one evening... another guy named Frank Galluccio. So already 2 Franks.
Yeah.
Entered the speakeasy with his sister Lena and his date Maria. Al Capone was a waiter / bouncer and started to notice Lena approaching, and he started to like smile at her, and like she did not like this. She was like, "Nah, dude, like don't smile at me."
Shame.
Don't smile at me. And so, she asked her brother to tell Al Capone to like stop looking at her. Like she was like, "Dude, tell him to stop." And as this is happening, like as he is about to go and tell Al Capone to like be like, "Stop." Al Capone says, word for word,
Oh god, you know it's gonna be good.
"Honey, you have a nice ass." And I mean that as a compliment, believe me. And then Frank goes ballistic.
Oh yeah.
And he tells Capone that he won't take this shit, and then tells him to apologize to Lena. And then Al Capone tells Frank he's just joking, and then pulls out a knife
Oh.
and charges at Frank,
Oh.
slashing his face 3 times. And that's why he's called Scarface.
Wow.
Because now he has 3 scars on his face. Get it? And this was also like one of the first like big violent things that he did, I guess. You know, as a crime boss. I don't think he was really a boss at this point. He was like kind of working under someone. In the 1920s, he moves from New York to Chicago to his new gang's headquarters. I forget what they're called, if I'm gonna be honest, but it's fine. And the previous leader of that gang kind of retires because I think he's scared that people are gonna kill him because he has so much money.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Oh, I gotta retire." And Capone is put in charge, and he ended up having so much control of the Chicago underworld. He gained most of his money through the sale of liquor, because, you know, the prohibition. Gambling and prostitutes, and he was estimated to make $100 million per year.
Damn.
Later on, in 1926, Jaime Weiss, a rival, attempted to assassinate Al Capone, which ended up failing. Miserably, because that ended up with 2 months later him being assassinated by Al Capone.
Yeah.
So, and it was with submachine guns and shotguns. So Capone is getting pretty murdery.
Yeah, it's a little bit murdery.
And so February 14th, 1929, the most infamous massacre that has to do with Al Capone, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, occurred. 4 men under Capone entered a garage at North Clark Street, and it was a building part of a major like liquor gang at the time. It was almost like a liquor company, but it was like a gang, you know?
But it was criminal.
Yeah, but it was like criminal. 2 of the 4 men were dressed as police officers. So the 7 men on watch for this liquor gang thought the police were raiding. And one of them was like, "Nah, dude, I'm leaving." And his name was Bugs. Shout out to Bugs.
Shout out to
He
Bugs.
lived.
Yeah.
And he was actually the main target of this thing, but he's the one that survived.
Dang.
The other 6 men were massacred with machine guns. 150 bullets were used, and they all died in that garage.
Oh my god, that's a lot of bullets.
And you want to know what happens after that? Al Capone gets arrested for tax evasion. Not for
orchestrating a mass killing, but for a tax evasion.
And then he's thrown into Alcatraz, which we'll get to eventually.
His cell in Alcatraz is like nice, by the way. Like,
oh
there
yeah,
are photos of it, and it's like way nicer than all of the other cells. Also, I'm gonna put a picture of Boardwalk Empire Al Capone up.
Yeah, why not?
Because I fucking love Boardwalk Empire, so it's what's gonna happen.
Thank God. And so he's arrested for tax evasion, thrown into Alcatraz, then gets released from Alcatraz. Like, he just gets to live his life, and then he just dies in his huge mansion in Palm Beach. Like, he didn't really get much punishment.
Yeah, no, not at all.
I don't know, like, why, though. Like, did people like him? Because I could see it with, like, Jimmy Hoffa, why they didn't, like, just be like, throw this dude in the slammer.
Yeah.
You know? Because, like, I mean, yeah, he stole money, but, like, whatever.
Yeah, like...
Like, whatever. Al Capone, like, orchestrated a murder, but that's fine. That's fine, I guess.
Yeah, I don't
whatever.
know. Shit was weird back in the, like, 20s and 30s.
They're like, whatever. I mean, everyone's doing that nowadays.
Yeah, they were like, well, not much we can do. Orchestrated the murder of 6 people.
Supposed to be 7. Supposed to be Bugs.
Yeah.
Honestly, shout out to Bugs.
Yeah, like, lucky him. Damn. Can you imagine how, like, lucky he felt?
Yeah.
Afterwards, he was like, oh.
He was like, oh, God, the police are raiding. Gotta go.
Bye. I mean, that's smart. If the police were raiding somewhere I was at, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna leave now.
Yeah.
Bye. It's like that John Mulaney
Yeah.
Scatter!
Yeah. Oh my God.
Fuck the police.
Yeah. God, that's one of my favorite John Mulaney sketches.
So good.
We'll have to spend a moment in this episode talking about John Mulaney. Not
Oh,
right
yeah.
now, but after. That's all I really have to say on Al Capone because, oh my God, going through this man's timeline.
It's just like, yeah, even on Boardwalk Empire, it was...
It's just a lot. Like, he did
yeah.
a lot. But something that I would like to say, I'm pretty sure he's the one that coined the term money laundering. Right? I think
I think
he's,
so.
I think he's the dude that, like,
That sounds right.
that sounds right.
Definitely sounds right.
Because he did drug trafficking
Yeah.
and stuff and was, like, kind of one of the first people in the time to do it.
Yeah.
And he, like, so essentially, like, what they would do is, like, laundromats are, like, cash flow businesses.
Yeah.
So he bought a bunch of laundromats next to each other, kind of in the same area. And, each week they would take the money that they earned from drugs and mix it with the money they
Yeah.
earned from the laundromat and then just be like, yeah, this is how much we earned this week. And then, like, they would, like, split it up between the 4, like, laundromats.
Yeah. Just in case you didn't know what money laundering is.
Yeah, just to be like,
You know.
that's the tea.
That's what happens in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
I just know, like, so many TV show references. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Whoops.
You know what this all reminds me of, though? The mattress firm theory. The mattress firm launders money.
Oh, yeah.
Just really quick.
Yeah, we're just gonna talk about the fucking mattress firm conspiracy theory.
Because, like, I've been talking about this theory the whole year. Like, since the moment I moved here. Come on, mattress firm. So, one, the CEO got in trouble for fraud recently. Yikes. By his own employees. Yikes. And also, have you ever been on a road and seen, like, 5 mattress stores? Why aren't you seeing, like, 5 grocery stores?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you replace your mattress every 10 years.
Yeah. Not even that, like, sometimes.
Yeah, not even that sometimes. Sometimes you just hand them down, you know?
Yeah.
I
slept on the same mattress for 18 years, like...
But what he did get in trouble for was, like, competitive marketing. So he had to shut down, like, 700 mattress firms.
Wow.
Because they were like, you should not have this many mattress firms open.
Too many mattress
like,
firms.
too many mattress firms. I know that there's a street at my hometown in Tennessee.
Shout out.
Shout out to Tennessee. Shout out to Mallory Lane. That has, like, 5 or 6 mattress stores on it. And in one day, like, me and my friend just drove to every single one of them. All of them were having sales. They were all empty.
Wow.
So it's like, it doesn't, and like, sometimes
like,
it just
it doesn't
doesn't make
make
sense
sense.
how they could all be open,
Yeah,
like how you
they
can
could stay
afford
in
it.
business, Yeah.
Yeah, especially in Tennessee, in Franklin, Tennessee, because that area at least is like higher end. So it's
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't say higher end, but it's like expensive to own a business there because it's popular. Like, it's a populated area. So, like, do we have another Al Capone?
Wait, let me look up the CEO of Mattress Firm.
Yeah, please.
Mattress Firm bankruptcy.
They didn't go bankrupt. Kenneth E. Murphy.
the third.
Okay, yeah.
He's-
That's your name. Like, not to throw shade at Kenneth.
That him, what the fuck?
Not to shade Kenneth or anything. Ken Murphy. But
He looks like
he kind of looks like a modern day Al Capone, if I'm gonna be honest.
he also looks kind of like dumb. I don't want to be mean. He looks a little stupid, but I think that's just a ruse. I think he's smiling like that in his picture just to fool everyone.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, let's put him next to Al Capone.
Yeah, Ken Murphy. Here we go.
He looks like a southern version of
He
Al
does.
Capone. Like if Al Capone were a realtor, that would be Ken Murphy.
Okay, here we go. I was gonna put a picture of Zach Bagans up again, but they deleted the photos from.
Yeah, curse you guys. Just kidding. You guys help us a lot.
Yeah, right. JK. You can only see half of them.
Come on, they're wearing the same exact outfit.
Really though. I love how you can see me like slowly move the photo down onto the.
That's like my favorite thing.
It's funny.
I love the low budge.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So that's Ken Murphy the
that's
third.
that's Kenneth Murphy.
Kenneth Murphy the
I
third.
forgot Kenneth is a name.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely money laundering through Mattress Firm.
Look at him. He's gotta be. Though he doesn't have as strong of eyebrows as Al Capone.
Yeah,
I honestly,
no, not at all.
I honestly kind of feel like you have to have the strong eyebrows to be laundering money.
I mean, if we just like Photoshop those eyebrows onto him.
Yeah, I mean we could. I like Mothman lingering in the background.
Oh yeah, no. I always try to like move the photo so that like his eyes are peeking up over the top.
Yeah.
He's watching. He always watches.
We love that.
We love Mothman.
Love you, Mothman.
Shout out to Mothman.
I don't know if that's actually making our voices louder or not,
Yeah, I don't know. You know?
but like for us anyways, it's entertaining.
Yeah, it's really funny because it like echoes weird and it just
This might be the worst audio that you guys have ever
Yeah,
heard.
and I don't know why. Like we didn't do anything differently.
We didn't do anything.
Yeah, we
Okay.
genuinely didn't.
We didn't do anything this time, guys. You can't sue us. Anyways, shall we talk about the escape from Alcatraz?
You mean Alcatraz?
Alcatraz? Okay. I think that everyone's heard of this anyways.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. Like
Like, how can you not
how can you not have it? It's been on Mythbusters.
Yeah, that's like the one reason why I knew about it when I was a kid. I was
Yeah,
like,
no,
okay.
same. Like the thing with the boat, you know.
Yeah, they tested to see if they could have actually escaped.
Yes.
And they could have.
They could have.
Spoiler.
I think that they did, and
Honestly,
we'll get into
yeah.
my theories.
Yeah, I think that they did too. Like,
Because I could talk about this all day because it's so funny.
yeah.
So, let's hop into it. Number 1. No. So, Alcatraz, originally a naval defense base in the 1800s, ended up housing military criminals from 1860s to the 1930s. In 1934, it opened as an intense prison, aka it was maximum security and a minimum privilege. Minimum privilege is questionable. We'll talk about that later. It was considered the toughest prison America could produce. Something to know is at the time the mob activity was high and criminals cared a lot about their reputations.
Yeah.
So America wanted to find a place where criminals couldn't escape no matter how hard they tried, because at the time it was pretty trendy to escape from prison. And they were like, dude, please stop.
Please stop this.
So, obviously, people tried to escape from the prison.
Of course.
Let's talk about our escapees. First on the list, Frank Morris. He arrived in Alcatraz in January 1960. He was inmate AZ1441. I'll never say that number again, and you'll forget that in 2 minutes. That was useless information. But listen, it was a little fun. He spent most of his life a criminal, starting at age 13. His crimes range from narcotics possession to armed robberies. He had a reported IQ of 130 and had a huge habit to try to escape from every prison that he was in. Which is why he got thrown in Alcatraz, because they were like, dude,
Please stop.
please stop. And like he didn't even really do it because he wanted out. Like he just liked doing it.
He was like, this is fun.
Yeah, this is
It's like
fun.
a puzzle.
Second and third on this list are John and Clarence Anglin, serving time for bank robbery. They also have a history of escaping prisons. So our team of people are pretty experienced.
Aren't they also brothers, those two?
Oh yeah, those two are brothers. I believe that Clarence is a younger one, but I could be wrong.
I think that sounds right.
Yeah. The last on this list is Alan West, who's the reason why we know as many details as we do about this case, and I'll get to that later. So Alcatraz was located a bit over a mile away from the shore of San Francisco, and it had waters that sometimes would get up to 40 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's really cold all the time. Also, the prison budget was super low, like really, really low, so they couldn't fix a lot of the like flaws.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like a key part of this. Is the fact that this prison, like, was such an old building at the time. Like, it was nearly 100 years old. And they couldn't afford to
fix it up.
Yeah.
Rip.
It all started when West approached Morris with a plan to escape because he noticed how some vents weren't covered in concrete in one of the cell blocks. Which could get them onto the roof of the prison. So, uh-oh. Alan West began to work with the maintenance crew, which kind of started to get him an understanding of the layout of the prison as well as all of the weaknesses. I don't know why they let him work with the maintenance crew.
I mean, free labor, I guess, but also bad idea.
Bad idea for someone that has a record of escaping.
Yeah, a record of escaping
Because
prison.
all of them, I believe, have records of escaping prison.
Let them learn everything about the inside of the prison. It's fine.
Yeah, like whatever. All of the men then sent request forms to the guards saying, hey, can we all have cells next to each other in cell block B? And Alcatraz was like, yeah.
Oh my god.
And just moved them all.
What the fuck? You could not do that. You can't do that today.
Yeah, no.
You can't request to have a room next to someone else.
Keep in mind, minimum privilege.
Yeah, prisons now are so much more minimum privilege than this.
Yeah, like hello.
Oh my god. You can't just request to have a room next to your friends.
Yeah, what? So let's talk their plan. Because what? It's crazy. So they had to think of a way to get them like a head start so they didn't get arrested on their way to land, because it would take them a while to sail.
Yeah, for sure.
And they were trying to leave in the middle of the night. And so what they did is that Clarence worked as a barber in the jail.
Oh, I know this part. Oh my god.
And had access to human hair. And so they made dummy heads made of soap and plaster, then used human hair on it. And then they laid the heads down in their beds to fool the guards.
How do they get that much plaster?
I have no idea.
I guess if they were on the maintenance crew, they could have, like...
Probably. It was probably that. A lot of soap, too.
Yeah, that's a lot of soap. I guess they were like, I smell really bad, guards. Can I just have some extra soap? And then the guards were like, yeah, sure, buddy.
Yeah. And so, spoiler alert, this works pretty well.
Somehow.
Yeah, somehow.
Oh my god.
So, this worked, and they only noticed that they escaped. So they left the prison at 10:30 p.m. The guards didn't notice till 7 a.m.
Holy fuck.
When the bell went off for people to wake up, and a guard reached through and tapped one of their heads.
And it, like,
rolled off and chipped.
Oh my god.
Which, one, is terrifying.
Can you imagine just being like, oh my god! I didn't do it!
Oh god. Yeah.
God.
So the way that they got out, though, All of his cells had 9 by 5 inch grates in the back. They also knew the wall surrounding the grate was less than 6 inches thick, so for months leading up, they drilled small holes closely spaced to each other around the grate using spoons and a drill made from a vacuum cleaner motor.
Oh, they had a vacuum cleaner?
I guess.
What the fuck?
I have no idea. And so they chiseled away around the grates with sharpened spoons until like it would be easy enough for them on the day of the breakout to just push the wall in for it to collapse. So they could like fit out. So to trick the guards for this, so they didn't notice them doing this, they made fake grate covers out of cardboard and then would cover it with their musical instruments. In fact,
they had instruments.
Minimum privilege. And so,
yeah, here, have this metal instrument.
Yeah, yeah, have this. And so, in fact, so they could work on it without being caught, they'd play their instruments badly, so like they wouldn't hear the sound of the drill.
Oh my god.
They had something called happy hour there, where it was
what
like,
the fuck?
I know, right? Where it was like they could play music and like just play games and stuff.
Minimum privilege.
Minimum privilege.
God, this prison must have been bumping. Like, can you imagine?
Honestly, like, throw me in Alcatraz.
Jailhouse Rock, who?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Every time I hear this story, I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, this is the worst prison.
Yeah.
Not worse as in the treatment, but worse as in, like, they don't know what they're doing.
Yes, they really don't. I think that in their heads, they're like, well, we're an island. So, like, if people get out, they get out. And they'll die in the water.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, whatever. So what they ended up doing the day of is whenever they pushed in the walls, they decided that they would crawl back behind their cells to the utility corridor, which is, like, never guarded. And then they would climb up to a hidden landing area where they worked in secret for months. It became a workshop for them because they had access to that as maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
So, before they even pushed in the walls, they could just go up there as maintenance. And they even tricked the other maintenance workers into hanging up blankets.
What the fuck?
To cover up one part of the landing area so dust wouldn't fall down into their cells. Because they were like, oh, it's so dusty down there. And the guards were like, yeah, sure. And behind the blankets, they were working on, like, making the dummy heads. All of this stuff. So people would be working around it all day and just didn't know. No one even thought to look behind the blankets.
Yeah, there's dust back there. I don't want to go back there. There's dust.
Yeah, there's dust.
I don't want to do my job. I don't want to get fucking dust.
I don't want to get dust.
I don't want to get the black lung.
Yeah, exactly. And on the night that they were leaving, West actually couldn't make it to the landing area because the wall wouldn't fully collapse. And he was the one that came up with this entire plan.
That would suck.
And he was like, just go in without me.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's like, okay, I guess.
Okay, I guess I'll stay here. I mean, we have happy hour.
Yeah, right? It doesn't sound that bad, to be completely honest. Why wouldn't you just serve out your time and then just be like, okay.
But since he's the one that got left behind, the FBI, like, interrogated him. And, like, that's how we know this whole story and all the details. So the 3 men left him, climbed a pipe in the landing area to the roof, and then they climbed off the roof from another pipe, and climbed a 15-foot fence and made it to the northernmost point of the island facing San Francisco. The inmates built life preservers and a 15-foot-long boat out of raincoats they gathered in the prison. They had 50-plus raincoats that they collected over time.
Hey, boss, I keep losing my raincoat. Can I have another one?
Yeah.
The guard's like, here, yeah, I have 3. You keep losing them so much. Like,
Yeah, I don't know how they got that many.
How dumb do you think the guards at that prison felt after this all happened?
Probably really dumb. Like, this was probably really embarrassing for Alcatraz.
For sure. Are you kidding me?
Like,
it's embarrassing to hear.
Yeah.
You're like, how did you let that happen? Like,
yeah. They even used a steam from the steam pipes to melt the rubber of the raincoats into one, like,
giant sheet,
giant,
yeah.
into one like giant like cloth almost, and then they used an instrument that they asked for specifically from the guards called a concertina, essentially an accordion. And in their they like use that to inflate the boat.
It. Oh my god.
And like as they would go, they'd keep inflating it.
Hey, can I get a concertina? My trumpet isn't.
My trumpet's it's not good enough, my dude.
And the guards are just like, yeah, we'll get you a concertina. What the hell?
Yeah. What is a concertina? And in their plan, they aim to make it to Angel Island, an island in between Alcatraz and San Francisco, and then they'd sail from there to San Francisco, and then they'd steal a car and then like go.
Yeah.
The FBI conducted like a widespread search for them, but the escapees and the raft were never seen again. But they did find their paddles, as well as like raincoat bags, floating in the bay. And those bags had photos of their families and a list of people to contact on the outside. Now, I, Lindsay, have a little bit of like a theory.
Yeah.
Not a big theory, just a little one. So,
Smidgen.
I was thinking about it, because when I heard that, I was like, oh, they're dead. I think that they made it, and because one of them has an 130 IQ, they intentionally left the bags.
Yeah, to make it look like they were.
To make it look like they were killed.
Yeah.
And then also the list of, like, contacts. To make it be like, oh, yeah, these are the people we're gonna go to. Like, you can investigate those people.
Yeah.
You won't find us there. They have other people that they're gonna call.
Yeah, like, they lied on the sheet. Like, oof.
They're like, we drop this. Because they know that, like, the FBI is gonna be searching for them, you know?
For sure.
They've done this before.
Yeah, they know how this goes.
So, like, that's just, like, the tea where I'm at, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. I also think that maybe, like, if it were too heavy, they would have been like, well, we're gonna drop our stuff.
Yeah,
and then
that
just keep
too.
going.
Because, and, I mean, yeah, the paddle's a little unsettling, but I also think
Yeah.
that they could have left that.
Yeah, right? I mean, you're not gonna take the raft with you.
Because, like, here's the thing. They could have made extra paddles.
Yeah.
And intentionally thought about that.
True.
Because, I mean, Alan West isn't gonna rat them out fully, you know? He's not gonna be like,
they're going here and
they
here.
made this many paddles. Like, he's gonna be like, oh yeah, they made like 2 paddles. You know? Just in case.
Yeah.
Because he probably knows the plan.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're not gonna rat out your friends.
I personally think that they lived.
Yeah, me too. I think they.
Because, like, I feel like they would have found the bodies. You know? I mean, I get it. Like, it's a bay,
yeah,
but,
and, like, it's the ocean. Like, yeah, I know, but
achievement unlocked.
Sorry. That's my Legend of Zelda ringtone.
I, like, that hit me with a lot of nostalgia all at once, and I was like, oh god.
Hello. Hello.
That's them making it to shore.
Yeah. Achievement. Oh my god.
I mean, like, maybe it's also just that I want to believe that they're alive, because
Yeah,
I
for
just,
sure.
like, they deserve it.
Right, I'm like, they did a great job.
Like, I don't
Props
support.
to them.
Like, I don't
I
don't support criminals breaking out of jail.
Yeah, I don't
But
support escaping
there
prison.
might be an exception.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
they didn't ever kill anyone.
Right, I mean, you know.
And clearly they didn't rob anything after that, you know?
Yeah, obviously because they were never caught again.
Because they were never caught again. So, like, you know, I support it. Because, like, they aren't gonna rob again. If they escape from Alcatraz, they aren't gonna be like, oh yeah, let me get thrown back in there.
I guess the rehabilitation worked.
Yeah, in a way it did.
Just gotta let them, like, escape in a really, like, elaborate way.
Yeah, exactly. I love prison break stories.
Yeah, you know what? I actually think that, like, because if you're a criminal who breaks out of prison, you're probably not gonna commit crimes again just to not get caught. I mean, at least would be my mindset.
Yeah, same.
So maybe we just need to let criminals escape.
Maybe we just need to, like, let criminals out of prison.
Yeah. Aurora for president. Aurora and Lindsay. 2020.
Maybe we just get rid of jail.
Maybe we just stop jail.
Nah, we didn't mean that.
Please, no
I'm
cops.
so sorry.
Please.
Oh God, the cops are right next to us.
Yeah, that's true. There's like a police academy building like right next to this building, and we. Oh wait, I don't want to say that. Never mind. That sounds so suspicious. Don't worry, it's nothing bad. Just chill. It's fine.
Should I say it?
I don't want the cops to hear us.
We're so bad. We threw a penny on their roof.
We threw a penny onto the roof of the police academy building. We're so sorry.
We're so sorry.
Please don't arrest us.
I like how we're really scared to say that we threw a penny on the roof of a building. We're like, we don't want the cops to get us. Everyone now here is like, oh God, they were like smoking weed,
Yeah,
like with police officers. No,
we threw pennies
no, we were just throwing pennies,
and a dime.
and we
and
did
a
throw a
nickel.
dime and a nickel. But like that was just to see how far we could throw it.
Yeah, Lindsay was better than me at it.
I was a lot better. It's the flick of the wrist. I highly suggest you guys do this sometime. Not at police stations. I don't think that you probably should do that. I feel like while doing it, I was scared that a cop would come out and be like, "Hey."
Yeah, you would like hit him in the head or something with a penny.
Yeah, or like a police dog.
Aww.
I would feel awful for the rest of my life if I hit a police dog, because it'd be like, kill, like immediately.
Oh my God.
I hope we aren't super quiet right now,
Yeah, I don't know.
because we did just go for like 40 minutes.
Yeah, that would be really depressing. Oh, for some reason, throwing pennies on the roof of that police academy building reminded me of tortilla tossing, which it's something we did back where I used to live in Tejas. Shout out to Tejas.
Tejas.
But like there was a bridge in Waco, Texas. Shout out if you know where that is.
I only know it from Fixer Upper.
Yeah, that's where most people know it from.
Like, if I'm gonna be honest with you, only know it from HGTV.
Yeah. I don't like Chip and Joanna Gaines, TBH. I don't know.
Don't come for their wigs.
I know where they live. Like,
Don't dox them.
No, I mean I passed by where they lived when I lived there. Like, you drove past it whenever you were driving there.
Is their house pretty?
My stepdad actually did like because my stepdad works for like an electrical company. So he went out there and was talking to he talked to Joanna. He met Joanna, and he said that she didn't know what she was talking about. Which is exactly what I suspected.
I mean, like, honestly,
I was like, they don't know what they're doing. It's all a scam.
I
She's
feel
more of
like,
the interior design part too, but also.
but I also feel like anybody could walk into what we're doing right now and just say the exact same thing about us. They don't know what they're talking about.
True. I mean, yeah.
What if the escape from Alcatraz just never happened and I'm just like projecting?
It's all just been falsified.
It's just like
It's just an urban legend.
it's just an urban legend.
But anyways, back to tortilla tossing.
Oh
Sorry.
yeah, continue. Sorry.
So like, there's this bridge, and there are these pillars that kind of stick out like a few feet away from the bridge in the river, and sometimes kids will buy packs of tortillas, like really cheap tortillas, not great ones. And you'll go out there and you'll try to toss them on the top of the pillars, and we call it tortilla tossing. The end.
I mean, at least it feeds the animals.
Yeah, I mean, there are ducks down there, so they'll probably get all fucked up because bread is bad for ducks.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
bread is bad for them. That's kind of sad.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked, but anyway.
It's okay. Don't give ducks bread.
Yeah.
Oh god, that scared me.
Sorry.
It's okay.
My phone just keeps vibrating because my friends are texting me.
Yeah,
I'm in a
I
group
feel
chat.
like for the past like several weeks, every single time we come here, we're like, let's throw a penny down on the police station.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like a tradition now. We have to throw a penny on the top of the
A cop is listening right now and is like,
Oh,
I'll
for
get
sure.
you.
No, they like wiretapped us or something.
Yeah, somehow.
They're listening.
They wiretapped all my pennies.
I mean, they probably have like one of those like fucking like how they record phone calls? I'm sure they could do that with
Like remotely.
yeah, for sure.
They're just like, yeah. The
They're
girl
like,
with
"We
the
know."
purple hair.
Oh, now you just gave yourself away. They were waiting for it.
I don't have purple hair.
Yeah, no, Lindsay does not have purple hair.
It's
It's green.
God, I'd rather die.
I had green hair once.
I'd rather get arrested than have green hair.
Wow, coming for my gig in like when did I have green hair? I had like green and teal hair for a while. It was dope.
I mean, I kind of thought that this would fade. Like, I thought that the blue was gonna fade into green, but now it's purple.
It's purple, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't re-dye it, I promise.
Yeah.
It's just a new color, though.
I've been wanting to re-dye my hair, but like now that it's black, I'm just like, there's no way I'm stripping this black dye out of my hair without killing it.
It'd be a crime.
Yeah. So I guess
It'd end
it's
up on
gonna-
Monster Mash.
Yeah, it's just gonna be black hair for a while for me.
Yeah.
I'm going into like my goth mom phase. Like that's
Yeah.
that's just my goal. Is just to be like a goth mom, but like with no kids.
For whoever's listening, can you send your favorite cryptid into the comment section?
Yeah, tell us your favorite cryptid or monster or whatever, and we can talk about it. We can chat.
I kind of feel like I'm one of those people that's speaking over the intercom at a hockey game.
Oh my god. Yes.
Susan, your car, you left the lights on. Whoever has a Honda CRV, the lights are on in the parking lot. You need to go and turn those off.
It's like the announcements over my school when kids would like park fucked up and they'd call it over the intercom and be like, whoever has a red truck, like a red Ford, please come outside and repark or we're gonna have your car towed. Because that would happen.
Whoever has a red F-150, your car is on fire. Please go and reclaim your stuff. Yeah, no. I mean, you guys probably can't hear the echo at all.
Yeah, it's funny. There's like a real echo in here. I guess it's just because like the speaker.
Yeah, it's just because of the speaker, but like, it's really funny. We've never done this before.
Yeah.
Entertain us.
We never talk that close to the mic.
Someone please send their cryptid into the comment section.
Yeah, what the hell, you guys?
There's 3 of you.
There are 3 of you, and there are no cryptids.
Mothman. Oh, yeah.
Well, Mothman
He's
is
right
obviously
here.
the best, yeah.
He's right here.
Like,
Make the squeaky noise. That was Mothman.
Yeah.
See you next. No, okay. Not yet. We still have 13 minutes.
Yeah, nah. That was my Mothman impression. Thanks.
Yeah, do you remember what your cryptid was? Mine was the alkali lake monster.
Mine was whatever that lava thing was.
The lava lizard guy.
Lava lizard, yeah.
We'll call him lava lizard.
Lava lizard. Lava lizard and water lizard. That's us.
Lindsay. That did not work.
I don't know.
I like how we get half of a message per minute.
Yeah. I mean, accurate.
Yeah. Only half of a message is sent per minute.
I want to say if I were a monster, I'd be like, I mean, I want to say vampire, but I'm not like, I don't think I'm vampire enough.
If I were a monster, I thought that I knew. And then, like, I'm so lost.
I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't be anything cool. Like, I feel like everyone likes to think that they'd be something really dope, but in reality, you'd probably be just like, no, I'd be a goblin. That's what I'd be. I'd be a goblin. For sure. Like, just a grubby little pizza goblin running around.
I would definitely be a lich, but, like, by mistake.
By mistake. Yeah, I think...
You know, I was, like, just thinking about my magic before I died. And then, like, all of a sudden, I'm, like, an undead being with magic. I don't know. We both, like, have Instagrams with, like, our monsters in it.
Yeah, no, I'd for sure be a goblin. I mean, that's, like, no question.
I mean...
If you've met me, you know.
I mean, I would either be a goblin or a lich.
Yeah.
We both love goblins. The
Yeah.
Mongolian death worm. I actually almost talked about that one week. I should have. I didn't know. I almost talked about it
next semester.
Yeah, next semester we'll talk about it.
Mongolian death worm. Maybe we should branch out into like, I don't know. I want to talk about like actual like vampire, like Vlad the Impaler and shit.
Oh my god, that'd be so
That stuff's super
fun.
dope. Yeah. Like I love stuff like that.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Vlad the Impaler. Oh my god, I had
Shout out to Vlad.
Shout out to Vlad. If you're named Vlad, you've probably killed someone.
Oh no, for sure.
No offense to anyone named Vlad.
Yeah,
I actually
no
knew
offense to
some.
any people named Vlad, but you know what your name entails.
you know, just prove me wrong.
Sorry to prove me wrong.
I had a design teacher in my pre-college program named Z. I loved her, and she's great. Shout out to Z. And so she would name all of her cats after, like she had one named Vlad the Impaler, and she had one named Napoleon, and like she would just name them after like really, like awful like people in charge, because all of her cats are like always like really moody. So it's like,
Yeah.
heck yeah. Like that's my kind of naming strategy, is just name them after like dictators that were really
Yeah.
bad.
God, I want a cat.
I want a cat named Vlad the Impaler.
I want a black cat that I can just name Vlad, or like.
See, but here's the thing. I want to have a cat named Vlad the Impaler. And that's the full name. And so when I go to the vet, like when they get like the pill bottles, it'll say like Vlad the Impaler Domaradsky, and I'd be like,
Yes.
that's my cat.
Aw.
You know, they'll like read off the pill bottle and they'll be like, we have medicine for Vlad the Impaler Domaradsky. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, that's my cat.
I want like a Sphinx cat, because they're like little goblins, and I just want a little goblin child.
I
So I
job
can be
shadowed.
like, I am the Goblin Queen.
I job shadowed at a vet's office for a bit.
Yeah.
It wasn't too long, but it was actually a very short amount of time. And there was an old man that came in. I was helping with like the nurse, so I'd like go in and be like, "Hi, how are you? Like, I'm Lindsay." And this old man came in with a Sphinx cat.
Oh my god.
And his Sphinx cat name was Pharaoh. And like he like puts his arms out in almost like a T-pose, I'm gonna be honest. And then has his cat crawl from one side to the other.
Oh my god.
And is doing tricks with his cat, and I'm like, dude, it is 10:30 a.m. and I appreciate this man. Like, it was like a super rural like vet's office in like Rudderville, Tennessee, and I'm just like, goals.
I support you.
Like, I support that man.
Yeah. Or I want like, what is it, Oriental short hair? They're like kind of like Sphinx cats, but they have like.
I want a ragdoll really bad.
Oh, ragdolls.
I like
yes.
the
They go
fluff
like
ones.
limp in your arms. They're just like. Yep.
I love the fluff.
See, I just want like goblin cats, because
Oh.
that's just my thing. That's my whole aesthetic. I'm like, I just want goblin cats.
Oh, one of my friends, Harley, shout out to Harley. Her brother, I think her brother, don't fact check, has, I think, yeah, he has two cats named, Goblet and Chalice.
Oh my god.
And they're really cute. They're like kittens. Oh my god, they're actually really, really
They're
cute.
so cute. I mean, oh my god. They're
The
big
big
ol'
ears.
Oh, they're little goblin babies. I love them so much.
The goblins of cats.
They really are. They're so freaking cute.
We've just started talking about cats for a bit.
Yeah, sorry. Oh my god.
But, like, that's in the best way, you know? I mean, this is kind of the part of the episode where we die off anyways a little bit.
Look at this little bat child. He's so cute.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. You know,
Put that picture in there.
for sure.
Show everyone what we're dealing with.
This is little, like, bat child. So freaking cute.
He is Mothman. Oh my god, I would totally name...
He's for sure Mothman.
I would totally name a cat Mothman. Oh my god. Wait, I know my pet names for the future. Vlad the Impaler and Mothman.
Vlad and
God, whoever is stuck with me for the rest of their lives, like, are just gonna have to deal with the
Deal
fact
with, like,
that
weird cat names.
Vlad the Impaler, Mothman. But then I'll give him, like, endearing names, you
Yeah.
know, like, Vlad.
Yeah, Vlad.
Vlad and, M squared.
God, that cat is like, that's my spirit animal, honestly, you know?
Yeah, honest to God.
That honestly is my spirit animal.
I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, just like slightly annoyed, like.
Yeah.
So freaking cute. I wish that I could have a bat as a pet, because I for sure would. Like, no question. You just
Oh,
open my
yeah.
door and I'd like just have a bat hanging on my arm. Just like, yeah, what's up?
In middle school, I had this dream of having a sloth. And for some reason, I also thought that, like, my sloth would be a lawyer. Like, I remember this vividly. Like, it'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna have a sloth, and he will be a lawyer, and I'll be seeing you in court. And, like, my friends are like, yikes. Like,
I've, like, I don't know. I think when I was in elementary school, I was that weird horse girl. And then
I wanted to be that girl.
I was that weird horse girl for sure. And
But
then
I
I,
didn't have a
like,
horse.
slowly traded, like, my nerdiness for, like, gothness. It, like, just transitioned one year. I was like, you know what? I'm trading this look for this one.
I just,
I'm
like,
still a nerd, but, like, I'm just a, I don't know.
I don't think I ever really went through
Yeah.
a goth phase, but,
I
like,
mean, it's not a phase.
I mean, it doesn't, yeah.
I'll prove everyone wrong.
You can prove everyone wrong.
Whenever people say that it's, like, just a phase, I'm like, you just made me want it to, like, not be a phase even more. Like, even if I don't like it in 30 years, I'm still gonna be doing it just to fuck with people who said that it was gonna.
I mean, that's amazing.
I'm dedicated.
I mean, I'm glad you're dedicated to something.
To the cause. The goth resistance.
See, what was it? I don't know. I don't know how I've been in my life. I feel like I did wear a lot of black at once. At, like, one point in my life. But then, like, I got kind of bored of it.
I could never get bored of it.
I just like colors a lot, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm wearing all black right now, so I really can't be speaking about this, but... Yeah, no, that's me with you.
Yeah, for sure. This is me with any of my friends.
This is us rolling up to Monster Mash.
Yeah, it is.
Game of Thrones. No, let's not talk about Game of Thrones.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
do you like Game of Thrones?
I do.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen any of it.
Oh.
I just know there's incest.
True, there is.
That's the only
I
thing
mean,
I
you're
know.
not wrong.
How was that finale? Was that, like, the finale?
I haven't actually watched the, like, newest, like, season because I'm still kind of behind.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm one of those people who, like, I want to finish the books, but I already started watching the TV show.
There's a book?
It's a book series. It's based on a book series.
Oh, okay.
That's, like, the biggest thing about it. It's like...
Oh, I just thought it was, like, it's a thing, you know?
I'm just looking at goth memes, and honestly, yeah, that's me. Yeah. No. Oh, also, I wish that bats were in Animal Crossing. That's what I hope is coming for, like, Switch. I want bats.
Oh my god, I need to get a Switch.
The only reason why I want a Switch is for Animal Crossing.
Yeah, me too. That and the new Pokemon game.
Well, yeah.
But
Yeah.
come on, Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
Do you like the starters?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite?
The fucking Grookey.
Me too.
Grookey.
Oh,
For
we're
sure.
Team Grookey over here.
Grookey.
Like,
He's so precious. I love him.
he's such a, like, oh my god, if they ruin him somehow by evolution, I'm gonna be really upset.
Well,
Please.
because my favorite favorite Pokemon ever is Torterra, which is like the fucking.
Oh, my favorite Pokemon is Empoleon.
Yes.
We love them Sinnoh. I think all my friends think that the Sinnoh remake is coming next.
I fucking hope so.
I-
Jesus Christ.
Do you want to hear a story? The other day,
I want it.
there was, like, this funny video on Twitter, and I forget what the video was. I know it was a joke, though. But it had the Sinnoh music playing in the background, and I started crying.
For sure. Are you kidding me?
I was
would
like,
too.
oh my god, the nostalgia. Like, I still have my Pokemon Diamond game from
Me too. I have yeah.
from when I was, like, what, like 5 or 6?
Actually, I don't have the original one I had because my mom made me sell it.
Oh no,
And it
like
had,
my
like-
parents, if they tried to make me sell it, I would have, like, fought them.
I had all
So
of the
hard.
legendaries. I had Regigas, Regice, fucking what was the other one?
Regirock?
Regirock?
yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
But Torterra was my bae.
Yeah.
Torterra was the shit.
So funny.
And all of my friends made fun of me for picking Turtwig. All of them.
Oh my god, no, I love
They made fun of me
Turtwig.
for picking Turtwig.
I
They
love
were like,
every single Sinnoh starter.
They were like, me too. All of
I
them
think
had
they're-
great evolution.
They had great designs, great evolutions.
Yeah.
A lot of people hate Empoleon, and I'm like, you leave him
How?
alone.
Empoleon is great. I traded with a friend for Empoleon so I could have like all the starters.
Yeah, he's beautiful.
Great.
So I once, when I was a kid, traded my friend my Blaziken.
Oh god.
And I was broken.
for sure. Are you kidding me?
I was a broken child. I was like, I need my Blaziken back. This was not worth it. And so I cried all day until my mom called their parents. And I went back over there and traded back to get my Blaziken.
I loved
His name was Blake.
I loved Mudkip. Mudkip was
I love Mudkip as well.
and oh god damn it. Fucking Totodile. Totodile was great too. I fucking love Totodile.
Oh, Totodile. I'm sorry, I'm popping off. I love those starters as well. I also really love oh, that's a different set technically, but I also really love Cyndaquil.
Yes.
No, Cyndaquil was my baby. I had a Cyndaquil named Cinder.
My favorite Pokemon was Glaceon for like a really long time because I had a friend who like taught me how to evolve like how to evolve her. She was in college, I think, but she like my parents knew her anyways. Like she played Pokemon all the time and she taught me how to like evolve my Eevee into a fucking Glaceon.
Yeah.
It was like my favorite for a long time. But honestly, my favorite like of all time is fucking Torterra because look at him.
Yeah, look at him. Big turtle dude.
Big turtle boy, and like other Pokemon can live on his back because
Yeah.
it's like an actual ecosystem. I love it so much.
My first Pokemon ever in game was a Piplup named Bubbles. My first Pokemon through the trading card game was Seedot. I think I named him Bottle Cap because I was like, haha.
Let's see. I remember I won like a holographic Flareon card in a race because we were at school. We were at recess. One of my friends had like a holographic Flareon card, and he was like, "Whoever can run to the end of the like playground and back gets it. Like first gets it." And I raced like my best friend, and I won, and I got the holographic.
My
Flareon
dad
card.
said he'd buy me a set of Pokemon cards for every single goal I scored in soccer when I was 5. I never scored any goals. So during this game, after he said that, I scored 6 goals.
Oh my god.
And he didn't realize how expensive they were. Because it's like $10 per pack.
Yeah, they were expensive.
So it was like $60 he just dropped on Pokemon. And I was living my best life. Anyways, it's 1:02.
Oh, damn.
So I think we need to get going.
Yeah,
sadly.
wow. We talked about Pokemon and fucking ALCATRAZ.
And Al Capone.
Yeah.
We like to talk about a variety of subjects here on Monster Mash.
Yeah, maybe next semester we'll like get into the we'll be better at this.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, maybe not. Probably not. Let's be real. But
We just enjoy doing it because it's
yeah,
fun.
it's been fun.
No.
This has made my semester considerably better.
Yeah, same.
Even though I like missed a few here and there, but like
You missed like one.
yeah.
You missed one. It was just the
life
Madeline
happens.
McCann one. It's fine.
Yeah, life happens.
You didn't need to talk about child murder with me.
Yeah. So thank you for listening, and we'll see y'all next semester
Yeah.
on a new season 2 of Monster Mash.
Season 2.
Monster Mash season 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what?
I know that this is gonna go for like 15 more seconds after I hit stop, so